Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's session, Vista After Hours. My name is Viral Tarpara, IT Pro Evangelist from Microsoft UK, and I'm here with my colleague, Matt McSpirit. And before we get started today, we'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for attending today's session. We know it's a Friday morning, and all of you have probably seen hundreds of PowerPoint presentations through the week at this convention. And we also recognize that many of you are probably still recovering from the various country parties that were amazing and fun this week. And before you leave IT Forum today, Matt and I hope that we can give you a unique perspective on the inside the look of Microsoft consumer technologies and how they integrate into your digital lifestyle. So because of the unique nature of this session, we really encourage you to give feedback. Because this is a technical conference and there's not many consumer technology focused tracks, your feedback's essential, so that if you do enjoy today's content, please let us know so that future events such as TechEd can integrate more of a softer side to the technical experience. And so for today's content, please give that feedback. So allow me to introduce Partner Technology Specialist for Microsoft UK, Matt McSpirit.
Okay, thank you, Viral. I think Viral hit the nail on the head there. This kind of session for IT Forum is very, very different. There's not many sessions where you'd see an Xbox, a home server, a Vista machine, a media center on the stage at once. But we're not going to talk about individual products on their own. We're going to talk about Vista as the center of a solution, as a digital life platform. So hopefully you'll go away and think, I could use some of that cool technology at home. So what's our objective? What is our main aim? And we've got one. We want to open your eyes to a connected digital world on the Microsoft platform. It's like nothing you've seen, okay? You may be running some of the technology, you may be running Vista, but have you looked into some of the photo gallery effects, some of the movie maker tools? Have you looked into Media Center? And what about Home Server? All these technologies coming together is a very compelling message, okay? Something that's very different for this forum. We're going to talk about the interconnected digital world, but we're not going to bore you with slides. Slides just wouldn't get the message across. It's all about demo, okay? Because this is what you want. You want to see real products working together, and that's exactly what we've got on the stage today. Hence why it's so hot. We'll finish the demo, and then we'll go for a summary. Okay, we'll just conclude with what we've covered, this digital lifestyle. And if we've got some time, we'll have a Q&A. So what is this interconnected digital world? What is it all about? What does it mean for you in terms of products, in terms of components and parts? The center of it all is Windows Vista. Who's running Windows Vista? Could I just get a show of hands? Excellent, great. Quite a few people. We all use it in the business sense, and I love the features like search, okay, being able to find my documents, my emails, my PowerPoint presentations. I also love the security, things like BitLocker, and also the backup. And it also enables me to do more from a mobile perspective, to create meeting spaces between multiple Vista machines, to share content in real time. But what about from the home perspective? What cool stuff's in Vista out of the box? There's the photo gallery for organizing information. How many people have got a digital camera? Hey, most people, okay? I'm no expert with digital cameras, as you'll see. But more and more people have got digital cameras as the price comes down, and more people need areas to store their photos. Vista organizes these photos very well, but also manipulates the photos with things like Movie Maker and also DVD Maker, and we'll cover those in the demo. So there's a lot in Vista for consumers as well as businesses. But how does Vista start to become extended? How do we build on Vista? Media Center's in there already, in Home Premium and also in Ultimate. So two of the versions of Vista, they've already got Media Center in. Not many people know about it, not many people use it, but it's a fantastic UI, a fantastic interface into interacting with your content, be it music, movies, pictures. How else can we extend Vista? What else is in the box? Sideshow. Has anybody heard of Sideshow? Okay, less than half. This is a feature that's in Vista that uses devices like this, okay, or we've got some prototype devices on the stage as well. Things like a digital photo frame. Vista will sync content between Vista and a device, okay, that could be anywhere in your house and provide information. And Viral will give a great demo of some of the Sideshow devices that we've got. Then the Xbox 360 comes into it. A fantastic gaming platform, the first next generation console. Xbox Live, the online environment, 5 million plus subscribers. It's been going for 5 years now. Okay, a lot of people on Xbox Live. And games like Halo really justifying Microsoft's presence in the gaming market. But we're not going to talk about the games. We're going to talk about how it forms part of your digital lifestyle. You'll see the arrows there. It connects with Media Center, but it also syncs up with Vista, and we're going to show that kind of technology. And then the Zune, okay, the good old Zune. Okay, not available outside of the US just yet, but what it gives you is a rich user experience with portable music. And we've got one up here with the latest software, the software that's just released a few days ago. So you can see that kind of technology and see how that integrates with the Xbox and Vista. So you're not just restricted to having your music on your PCs, you can take it with you. And then Home Server comes in. Where does Home Server fit? I mentioned before with the digital cameras, more and more people want to store their photos on machines. What if you want to start sharing that content to different users in the house? You need somewhere, a central place to put it. But you also need to control access to that central place. And what if you want to access this information from out of the country, from away from your house? Is that kind of functionality there? Yes, it is with Home Server. And then the final area of the digital world, the thing that overlies everything, is Windows Live. Okay? With your Live ID is your gateway online from a Microsoft perspective. It integrates with Vista, as I'll show some of the cool tools that we've got released just recently. It integrates with Zune, okay, Zune Social, the ability to create communities. But it also integrates with Xbox, so your Xbox 360 gamer tag, so your ID in the Xbox world is linked to your Windows Live ID. And we'll talk about that later. So that's an introduction to our digital world, but now it's time to look into it. Okay, so that's it from the slides. Now it's just demo. So I'll flick over to my machine. There we go, lovely. That's not a photo I took, by the way. That comes out of the box in Vista. So what have we got here? We've got Vista. I've got a couple of icons on my desktop that I'm going to talk about in a minute. The main thing I want to get across is this ability to work with things like photos and videos and multimedia content. So out of the box in Vista, we have a technology called Photo Gallery. And you'll notice how I'm using the search to bring that up, built into the Start menu. Photo Gallery is great, enables me to organize my information, my photos, pretty much automatically. Vista handles it for me. But more recently, Windows Live have brought out an additional version called Windows Live Photo Gallery, as you'll see, second in the list there. And Windows Live Photo Gallery extends the functionality that was in the Vista Photo Gallery, but also brings that functionality down to Windows XP users. So Windows Live Photo Gallery can be used on XP and on Vista. So it's not restricted just to Vista. But what does it look like? What does it enable me to do? Well, I've taken a few photos last night and this morning, and I've put them on my memory card, so I'm going to put that in my machine. And then we have the autoplay. What do I want to do with this memory card? Do I want to import the pictures using Windows, the normal photo gallery, or do I want to import them with the Windows Live Photo Gallery? I'm going to go with the Windows Live Photo Gallery. So it's found 4 photos. I only took 4, I didn't have much time. But even this first bit is very different to what you get if you chose the Vista option on its own. With Vista, if I'd been on holiday for a couple of months and I'd been to New York and taken loads of photos, and then China and taken loads of photos, when I come to import them onto my PC, they would be imported in one big group. So I'd have mixed up photos from New York and China. There wasn't an easy way to separate the content. This first section gives us that method of grouping content together based on time. So you'll see I took the first set of photos last night, just after 10 o'clock, but I took another set of photos this morning, just after 8 o'clock. If you can't see that, I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay, but they've been separated based on time. So I know, in fact, that could be months apart, that could be minutes apart, or hours apart. I can adjust that. So as I go larger with the number of hours between the groups, you'll see the groups merge into one. If I go back the other way, I've now got 2 groups again. But I need to name them. So I'm going to call this one morning, if I could spell. There we go. and I'm going to call this one night. That would be great. That will create folders automatically for me. So I'll have two folders, one called morning, one called night. But I don't just, what if I want to search for Barcelona and I want to find both morning and night photos? I can use these things called tags. So has anybody started using tagging of documents? Not everybody. Tagging of documents is very important because it enables you to find your content more effectively at a later time. So normally, we'd search for a file name or maybe an author. But now if we give tags, so additional information, so I'll choose Barcelona, let me get my spelling right. There we go, and I'll do it here. So these items now, regardless of whether they're in the morning or night folder, if I search for Barcelona, I'll find these pictures. So I'll import these in. It's interesting to note the kind of level that this information in Vista will go to. I can search for the brand of camera that I've taken these photos on, and it will bring me back photos based on my camera. So I can choose Samsung, and I've got photos. This information, I haven't manually written Samsung in all these photos. It's just pulled it straight from the camera automatically. Background information, very useful for search. So we're now in the Windows Live photo gallery. What kind of cool stuff can we do in here? Well, you'll see I've got all my different tags. So if I search for Barcelona, I've got 4 items. If I go back to my actual pictures and I go morning, I've just got 2. If I want to upload these anywhere, does anybody use Flickr? Okay, only a few people. So Flickr's a large Yahoo-run online photo service. I can now publish straight from Photo Gallery to Flickr. Okay, if you can, there you go. So we're integrating with other people's software. We're integrating with other companies' service providers or services. We can obviously publish to Windows Live Spaces if you're interested in blogging, or if it was a video that I'd selected, I could have published to MSN Soapbox. What else can I do? This is all well and good. It's great for organizing my information by year, by date, and so on. When did I take that particular photo? Was it 2005? Was it January? And so on. I can really organize. This is all done automatically for me. Well, how can I expand on this? Let me go to my pictures. And I was recently at a football match in the UK. Okay, Manchester United, my team. I took a few photos around the stadium. Well, my camera is only a very basic digital camera. It's not panoramic, so I can't take huge pictures. However, with the technology in Windows Live Photo Gallery, I can select a few. So we'll choose this one, I'll choose this one, and I'll choose this one as well. So that's 3 pictures. I'll use Make, and I'll create a panoramic photo. So what it's doing there, while it's working away, is looking at each of the photos and seeing where they match. Okay, where the technology and where the actual photo overlaps. When it's finished, what it will produce is one big image. And you'll say, well, that's never going to work. You'll see the joins between the pictures. Yeah, it's not going to be very good. If I save this, I'd say that's pretty good, wouldn't you? Yeah? Is that cool? Yeah? Excellent, excellent. So yes, you can see around the edge the black border, but you could easily use a tool to just snip the center out, and you've got a full, effective panoramic photo. And this technology is free to download for XP and for Vista. Cool technology. But you've got these photos, and these are on my local Vista machine. And I think, well, what more can I do? What more can I do? Well, I could make a movie. I can take photos straight from here into Movie Maker and add titles and credits and music. So it's great if you've been to a birthday or a wedding. I've taken lots of pictures, and I want to give these pictures to my friend whose birthday it was as a present. So I'll use Movie Maker, and I'll create a great movie. And Movie Maker in Vista now outputs content in high definition. So you can create 1080p or 1080i movies, high definition content that you can produce out of the box. But I'm not going to do Movie Maker today. I'm going to talk about DVD Maker. Has anybody used DVD Maker at all? Only a few people. Excellent. That means you'll be impressed, hopefully. So I can choose Burn a DVD based on these pictures. So I'll select a few. I'll go make, and I'll burn a DVD. I could have, after using Movie Maker, put my WMV file on a USB stick and given it to my friend and said, happy birthday. But it's not that great. I want a nice interface. I want a nice professional production. So I've got my items on my DVD currently. This is the list of items. I'll call it birthday. And I'll add some more items as well. I'll just add some sample videos. He'll like that for his birthday. So there you go. Now I've got videos, but I've also got a slideshow. So it's automatically taken those pictures and put them into a slideshow, ready to go on this DVD. We'll hit next. Now we need to customize our menu. Because if I give him a DVD, I don't just want a list of photos and videos. I want something compelling, something rich. So I'll choose one of these menu styles. We'll go with this one. I'll maximize. And I'll show you what it's going to look like when he receives that DVD. He'll put it in his machine, and this is what he'll get, a rich experience that you've created. If I want to go into my scenes, so this is all out of the box. There's my photos, and there's my videos that I can start viewing as well. Great. Okay, this is all functionality out of the box. So that's enough of manipulating content with Vista. The problem starts to arise as you take more and more photos of everything, because digital cameras, you just put it on your PC and take more photos. As you take more and more photos, what if you want to share it with friends? I'll set up a shared folder on my PC. You can access it from somewhere else in the house. What if you go out of the house? They can't access your PC then. There must be a way of centralizing content and allowing intelligent access to that content. And that's where Home Server comes in. So Home Server is a new product, Windows Home Server, based on 2003 technology. So the hardware it runs on isn't supercomputer. It's not Longhorn. It's not Server 2008 technology that's needed underneath. It's Server 2003, so it will run on pretty much anything. We've got an example here called the Tranquil PC. Feel free to come up in the break or after the session if you want to have a look. But it's literally this big. A couple of DVD cases, very, very small. The advantages of this particular device, it's fanless, no noise. Okay, no noise at all. It only consumes 24 watts of power. So you can leave it on all the time and not worry. If you build your own PC, chances are a normal PC, 300, 400 watt power supply, this one's 24 watts. So you can just leave it on, it's silent, you don't even know it's there. So you hook it up to your network, and you think, right, it's headless. You don't connect a monitor to it. So I think, how do I actually connect to it? Well, with Home Server, you get some client software. So you install it on the client, and what you get is this little icon in the bottom corner here, the little green house. I don't know if you can see it too well down there. And the little green house means my network is healthy. So that's giving me status updates on what is going on in my network in my house. So if Viral comes in and connects his PC, and he's not got antivirus installed, because it's pulling information from the Vista Security Center, or the XP Security Center, I will know that Viral's not got antivirus installed. It will say, my little green icon will go to red, and it will say network health is critical. Viral's PC has not got antivirus. So I'll take Viral outside of my house and leave him at the front door. That's one way of dealing with it. But what else can I do from this console? I can back up my machine, so it will take a complete snapshot of my PC at this point in time and copy it across your network to your home server. Okay, right across your network and store it there. And every subsequent backup that it takes of your PC will just back up the changes. Okay, and this will make more sense in a minute. So we'll look at administering the home server. So I'll connect via the console. So this is what you would connect to if you were the admin of your house. This isn't a user, this is your admin. So I'm basically going to access the home server as the administrator. So what will I see? This is my PC. Okay, online, as you can see, the other one's grayed out because it's offline. My operating system's here, yep, it's been backed up. Let's have a look at that backup. So I took a first Vista Ultimate backup on the 12th of November. How long did that take? 16 minutes. So it copied my entire machine and took it over to the home server. So this backup is sat on my home server. If I want to keep this backup, I choose that on the previous screen, keep this backup. Okay, so that's a backup that I definitely do not want to lose. If we're doing a backup cleanup, I think, well, I've taken backup since then, I can get rid of this backup when the cleanup takes place. Let's just go back into the details. If I'd have taken this backup 6 months ago, and now I'm sat on my PC and I think, I know there was a document in that backup I took 6 months ago. How can I get to it? Should I restore the backup and then I'll have the document? Or can I mount a backup? So I can take this particular backup and use the open button here to mount that backup. And I can go into that backup, pull the document out, and then unmount the backup. Okay, so I'm being able to access information that I backed up 6 months ago, even though it's not on my PC anymore. Very, very useful. The XP backup that I took was completed even quicker. 5 minutes, 45 seconds for a complete snapshot of Windows XP. So you'll say, well, when will you need this backup? Well, if I dropped my laptop now and the hard drive was corrupted, I replace the hard drive. I have a CD that comes with the home server called Restore CD. I boot from the Restore CD. It detects my home server, and it will restore the backup across the network onto my Vista PC. So I'll be able to be at the same stage I was when I took that backup. And the backup can go overnight when you're not using your PC. There's no problem there. So what about user accounts? A guest account is great because it means you can give different people access to your home server. And this will make more sense when we talk about the web functionality a little bit later. I've got 2 accounts. Matt, which is my machine. And it's a good idea to have the same username for your home server account as for your login account. Okay, you can use this with domain joined PCs as well. There's no problem there. But if I have a different name for my PC, different username for my PC than my home server logon, it means I'll have to authenticate when I click on something like the shared folders on the server. It would prompt me for a login there. But because I've got the same username and password on my PC and my home server login, I can just access no problems. So that's where the users come in. If I look at the properties of Matt, I can see which folders he has access to and which ones he doesn't. Very straightforward stuff. The shared folders is interesting because everybody, all the users, get a shared folder to store documents and files and folders and whatever. The interesting part comes when you think, well, do I want to keep this content in the Matt folder no matter what happens? Do I need to desperately keep these documents, these photos, or whatever? I can turn what's called folder duplication on. Okay, and folder duplication, when you've got multiple hard drives in your home server, it will keep a copy of that particular folder on both hard drives. Or if you've got 4 hard drives, it will have a copy of that particular folder on each hard drive. So if one hard drive fails, you've got another 3 copies of that particular folder. If we look at the storage, I've just got 1 hard drive in here. But if I added another, so this particular model can take 4 more by USB. If I added another storage device, whether it be USB or internal, it would be added to this list on the left-hand side. However, on the right-hand side, all you see is one big pool of hard drive space. That's all you see. To the user, it's just one big hard drive. So you're going to say, well, how do I know where my documents are stored if it's just one big hard drive? How do I know if they're on hard drive A or hard drive B? That's where the folder duplication comes in. If you need to ensure that one folder is kept no matter what, you put the folder duplication on. Is my network healthy? No issues, so we can go past that. These 2 icons here, DHCP and ASOFT Auto Exit, they don't ship out of the box. These are what's called add-ins. Windows Home Server is one of the first platforms I've seen to so openly embrace third-party developers writing things on top of it for free. So I've downloaded a DHCP add-in for my home server that means I can supply addresses to devices on my home network without the need for a router. or a wireless router, for example. So that's one example. The other, by ASOFT, and these are free to download, okay, on the We Got Served website. You'll see my machine, but if this machine was on, or if I had access to it, I could wake it up, wake online, it'll send that magic packet and wake up that machine, and once it's booted up, I could remote desktop into that machine on somewhere else in my network. So by default, the console doesn't provide that kind of functionality to remote desktop into other machines. These add-ins do provide that functionality, and there's lots and lots of add-ins available that do different things. Just to wrap up with the settings on home server, these are just the general settings, updates and so on. How often do you want to back up? How long do you want to keep that backup? You're in control as the admin. You can determine how long and time periods for this kind of functionality. How strong do you want the password for your users? It's a neat piece of technology. Strong password to ensure security. Do you want to share content out to other devices? If I switch these off, going back to the shared folders list, the music, photos, and videos folders will disappear. But I'm going to leave them on because they're a key part of this centralized home experience. The add-ins, these are the ones I've got installed. I've got a couple more available. The add-ins are installed through this user interface. You don't remote desktop into the server and run them manually. You do it through this interface. There's my DHCP information. The key one is remote access. I've turned websites on, so I can get a web front end as a user to access my content. Is this just on your internal home network? No. I can access this from anywhere in the world. How do I do that? Firstly, turn websites on. Then you need to configure your router. If your router is UPnP enabled, so universal plug and play, home server will try and do it automatically. It will open ports like 80, 443, and so on. The relevant ports to enable traffic to come from the web to your home server. Your domain name's the next step. I need some way of accessing my home server from the web. I can't type an IP address all the time. With your Windows Live ID, you can set up a domain name. So mine is mattmcspirit.homeserver.com. I can go to that address from anywhere in the world, and it will get targeted to my home server, and I'll be able to access my content. I've not got that set up now, but I can show you what it will look like. So let's open my browser. And that's what you get. So although you're seeing the internal web address, that could just as easily be mattmcspirit.homeserver.com or yourname.homeserver.com. There is some customization that can be done to this web page if you want to change the photo. I didn't choose that one. That's not mine. That's the default photo. So let's log in. So what I'm going to log in now is as a user. So before you saw me doing administrative tasks, now I'm logging in as a user. So I want to access something on my home server from the US, for example. So I'm going to use Matt, and I'm going to use my password. And now we're in. So I'm logged on to my home server remotely now. What do I have the option to do? Firstly, I can connect to computers. You can see that mine's on there, so the connection's disabled in this case. However, if demo machine was switched on, I could potentially remote desktop into that PC from wherever I am in the world. So I could be in the United States, Biryl's PC could be sat in the living room at home in the UK, and I could remote desktop straight into it. I've got access to the home server through RDP. This is all HTTPS, so it's secure. And then I've got the option for my shared folders, so to access my actual content. Notice that I don't have demo users folder here. I've just got the Matt folder, because I didn't have access to that as the Matt user. If I look in my music, there's all my music. I can upload documents and files and folders to my home server from my remote location, or alternatively, download music. So I could just pull down this particular track, or these tracks, and save it to my current location. So I'm getting access to my information from wherever I am. Now I mentioned the guest account before. So if I go back to the shared folders, a lot of people with home server are storing things on home server, like install applications or documents, and then they're providing people they don't know with guest access to that home server. The guest account could enable anybody in here to just log into my home server and access any applications that I've put in that guest folder. Very, very straightforward. So a little bit later on, we'll talk about how home server can stream content to other devices. But now I'm going to let Viral continue with a little bit of media center. So put in a rich UI, a rich interface and experience on your content.
Thanks a lot.
So over to Viral.
So home server is something that I plan to get this Christmas shopping season. So I encourage all of you to look at it. There's stuff like the home PC or the Tranquil PC. It's great. So Media Center. Media Center, how many guys have ever used Media Center in the past? So about 50%. That's pretty good. How many of you guys are using Media Center with Vista? All right, that's what I like to see. Those of you who have never used Media Center before, there's only really 3 words that I can use to describe it. There's only 3 words any person I've ever shown Media Center who's used it for the first time has said. And those 3 words are, this is cool. Media Center I could talk about value prop, I could talk about the slides, all the functionality as a partner ecosystem, how you could build on top of this with your own plugins and add-ins. But as an end user, you don't care about that. You care about watching television, consuming your content, and just having a good time doing it. How many of you have been frustrated by satellite television boxes or cable television boxes because of the slow, clunky user interface? Not being able to record what you want. I see a few hands over there. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. In the US, our boxes, they suck, sorry. But Media Center is the one product that I could say has a solid user experience. And what does that user experience look like? What you see on the screen right here is a computer screen. Now, Media Center is Vista, but from an end user, is this what you want to see when you turn on your television? No, that's not what we want to see. We want the ability to use consumer content as if it was a DVD, as if it was simply something that you pop in a tape or a DVD or flip to a channel, and that you get your content. So let me show you what Media Center looks like. And I'm plugged in here. Good. Increase the volume here a little. Okay, just keep that down. So this is what you're greeted with, not when you boot up your computer, or sorry, not when you load up Vista and load up all the background apps, whatever, but when you turn on your machine, your Media Center machine, this is what the user is greeted with. And as you can see, the user interface using a standard remote control. Now what I have here is a prototype device. A real Media Center remote would actually look a lot cleaner than this. But I'll actually show you why this is the way it is. But before I get to that, this user interface. How can I navigate this user interface? The 2 things that you'll see here is, one, there's a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. And I can control that using the directional pads on my remote. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go just see what options I have in the TVs and movies menu. Oh, okay. More TVs, recorded television, play DVD. I could set up my tuner, cable television, satellite, or terrestrial broadcast. What I want to do is access my recorded television, stuff that I've recorded either live or set as a scheduled recording. So I'm going to go ahead, click on that. And here I have some sample clips. I have Apollo 13 and a few other trailers. And I'm just going to show you how the user interface is. I'm just going to hit OK on this. And it takes me to a menu that not only gives me what the content is, but it shows you some metadata that's pulled directly from the internet. It shows me when it was recorded, when it was created, when it was the first airtime. So I could even do some cool things like, let's say it's some home video content or something you recorded and you want to share it with some friends. You could burn a CD or DVD of it, and it'll automatically create the appropriate format so that it's playable on any DVD player. So I'm going to just hit resume and show you what the quality looks like.
Straight back, direct abort. No.
Now note, I'll lower the volume here. There we go. Now notice as this is playing, if this was your satellite box or your cable box and you wanted to change channels, you would not be able to view this anymore. But let's say I want to browse some other content while, let's say, my girlfriend is watching this avidly and I really don't want to watch it. So while I'm looking for something else, I could simply do this. And notice that she could still kind of watch what she wants to watch while I'm looking for something more interesting. Yeah, she's happy. I mean, that's the main thing.
Most important
you
thing.
You gotta make the wife happy. You gotta make the girlfriend happy. And I could say, well, you know, honey, I really want to watch something else. So I could actually go to other recorded TV, and notice that, you know, if I had a big, in the U.S. we kind of have really big TVs, and
Bigger than that.
oh no, not bigger than this.
All right, okay.
So you know, she could watch the little preview clip that's going on here while I'm browsing for other things. But on the flip side, so we talked about video. On the other side, something I like to do with my family a lot is share my photos. Just like Matt's kind of an avid amateur photographer. Amateur, your photos are really good, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I like to share photos with my family. But up until now, before I had Media Center, the only real way I did that with digital photography is, here, Mom, here's my laptop, you know, flip away. Or you'd have to go and print it out, and that would be an annoying task because I'm a digital guy. I don't like going down to the local pharmacy or, you know, development center and printing out a lot of photos. I take
You don't
a lot
like
of photos.
spending money, do you?
I don't like spending money.
No, that's the end, yeah.
But it's more than about being cheap because photos are very static. You look at them and say, oh, that's nice, next one. Oh, that's nice, next one. How can I make it more engaging? How can I make it more rich from a sharing perspective? So let's look at that. So I'm going to go back to the main menu, and I'm going to go to Pictures, the picture library. Now, this is Matt's laptop, so he has a bunch of the stuff. You see the stuff that he did with morning and night that wasn't added. That was automatically picked up from Vista and Live Photo Gallery. So you could also see his pictures from New York and, you know, the Manchester United stuff. I'm going to go to Sample Pictures.
It's safer.
Yeah. Yeah. It is safer. I'm not sure what Matt did in New York. So I'm going to go to Sample Pictures. And note that you're greeted by a really rich UI. You could actually preview everything in thumbnails. And the user interface just kind of follows you wherever they want to go. So what I'm going to do is I could just click on one. And notice this is great. I could share my photos with my mom, my dad, my brothers. And then if I could just flip using the remote to the next one, or the next one, or the next one. But I'm not satisfied with this. This is not good enough for me. All I've done is digitize the analog world. Taken from a printed photo, say, oh, that's nice, to the next one, oh, that's nice, and simply digitize it. I'm not satisfied with this user experience. So I'm going to go back. It's like, how can I make these photos more engaging? I go play slideshow. And now you say these are what's called the,
Transitions, I would say.
Not the transitions. There's a word for this. Some Ken Burns effects. The movement of the photos. This is a documentary style that I think a guy named Ken Burns did. And these are Ken Burns effects. It makes looking at these photos a lot more engaging. It almost seems like it's moving in a way. Yet, as good as this is, I'm still not satisfied. I want a more engaging user experience. I say engaging because there's one element that we're missing from this. We have a very rich visual view, but we don't have auditory. We don't have music. So how am I going to add music to this? So I simply go back to my menu. Hey, music. And this is not my music. This is actually all of Matt's music.
It's demo music.
No, it's not.
Definitely demo music. I'm just going to hide under here.
Luckily, Matt's someone who has great taste, and he has Beatles. And I'm a big Beatles fan. I hope a lot of people in Europe are Beatles fans. But 8 days a week. I don't remember. I haven't heard that song in a long time, so I want to play it. Play?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It stopped.
Oh, it stopped that. Whoops.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, sounds good. So pause, or hit play. Go back to my photos.
I need your love, babe. Guess you know it's true. Hope you need my love, babe. Just like I need you.
That's the music video.
Hold me, love me.
So what do you guys think?
Hold me.
Cool technology?
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
I'm going to pause this and go back.
Yeah.
So one last thing before I go on to the next step, and I know we're limited on time. There's a lot of great functionality in Media Center, like the ability to record live television, like you would with a Skybox if you have one of their advanced services. That's right out of the box. You get that functionality the moment you connect a TV tuner into Media Center. But the last thing is, I know there's a lot of people who are partners here or business customers. What's a compelling thing? And I know this is a consumer thing, but I'm going to plug this in. How can partners extend this experience with their services and offerings through the internet? I could consume online media. I could go to stuff like More TV. And in the More TV section, these are actual plugins. These are add-ins that are built on top of Media Center. So we have one thing called TV on Time, recording your favorite television programs. Very easy through an online service. If we scroll over to, let's scroll.
Let's go down.
No, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Remote controls are a little bit difficult for him, you know.
Yeah, thanks. So I want to consume some news. So here, Arsenal Gold has a little application that's built on top of Media Center.
We don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Arsenal, ooh.
Yeah. But how does this expose Media Center? So I'm just going to go to Cool Room.
We're not on the web, by the way.
Oh, okay. Will it connect? We'll see. No.
That's the prompt you get if you try and select an internet service when you're not connected to the web, just out of interest.
So look at those. If you actually look at those programs, it actually takes over the UI, and you could actually create your own UIs that are really rich, really artsy, really nice.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing about Media Center. You could build on top of it.
Just to build on that point that Viral's touched on, who reads blogs? Nearly everybody. So you'll all have your favorite RSS feed reader, okay, whichever one, be it Google, be it a Microsoft-based one, or whatever. You can actually download RSS feed readers in Media Center. So you can be watching your TV and then quickly flick over to your RSS feeds and view your feeds while you're having your breakfast in the morning. Okay, that kind of thing. It's bringing technologies together like games, like RSS, all in one great user interface. And that's the key strength of Media Center, is the interface. It's such a rich experience.
Now, many of you have seen the remote I'm using. This is actually one of the first prototype devices used to create integrate a Media Center experience with another cool technology that Matt mentioned earlier on in the presentation. If you notice, this remote has a big screen on the front. This is actually a sideshow screen. And so let's caveat into what sideshow really is. So I'm actually going to close Media Center and turn to this device right here. It's called an Elmo, or that's at least what we call it.
Yeah. There you go, you're on.
Wait. There we go. So for those who couldn't see the remote, this is pretty much what it is. Notice the green center button for Media Center. Now, the new Media Center remotes are actually much more elegant than this, but to show off the sideshow functionality, just hit menu. And now I get access to sideshow. And I don't have any applications loaded on this, but I could show you what sideshow apps actually look like on a device. So let's flip over back to the PC, and I'm going to run a sideshow simulator.
So while Viral's launching that, just to explain the concept of sideshow. So sideshow brings together elements of Vista called gadgets, not the ones that sit in the sidebar, like the clock. These are different gadgets like Inbox, Outlook, and so on. It brings together gadgets and devices like this, and sends information between the two. So we've got some other prototype devices here as well, and I'll let Viral talk about those. It's on the desktop.
It's on the desktop?
Yeah.
Okay, great. There it is, device simulator. So here we have a sideshow device, and you notice the form factor. It's a very simple little gadget or application, and it simulates what a sideshow experience would actually look like. Can everyone see that? All right, great. And on the sideshow, the first thing you'll notice is that you have a directional pad. It can be touchscreen, so your devices that you create or purchase don't even have to be touchscreen. They can be dial pads, or they can be touchscreen. And as you scroll up and down, you get access to different little gadgets. And here I don't have too many installed, but I'll show you exactly how I'm going to install some. So first I'll show you this cute little game. I could go back, play solitaire. I'm going to install some sideshow gadgets, and I get to the sideshow panel just by hitting, the search sideshow.
So this example of this emulator that we're showing could exist on the front of a laptop. I don't know if you've seen some of the new laptops that have a screen built in
Asus,
into the
LG.
front, but also the new Dell machines, the XPS machines have a little screen built in as well. So that's the kind of experience you'd be looking to get.
How many of you ever wanted to access an ad? How many people have Windows mobile phones in this room? Okay, so a little less than half. How many of you ever wanted to access a phone number that's only sitting on your laptop because you forgot to sync with the device that you own?
A few people. Yeah, it's a few people.
It's annoying to have to boot up your whole machine, especially if you have something that's really old. But with Sideshow, it actually synchronizes and pulls that information onto a little device, whether that is a mobile phone that's Windows Mobile, or it could be, something that I have over here is like a fridge magnet. So I'm going to add gadgets, Windows Media Player, and I'm not going to add your Outlook calendar.
Yeah, thank you. No problem. There's so much in there.
Yeah. And so just by checking that box, it's communicating with my Sideshow device. Notice that it says, hey, it's actually active. When I go back to my Sideshow device, or edit the preferences, I could add it brightness. I could lock my Sideshow device, so it requires security or a PIN number. Going back to my Sideshow thing, notice that that gadget has been added. I have a little gadget here, Windows Media Player. Now with this gadget, I can stream or play back music directly from the gadget without having my machine on, or I could control my machine directly from the gadget. So it could be in screensaver, the display could be shut off, it could be Media Center, it could be anything. And I could control it with a little remote that's sitting on my desk that consumes zero power.
So yeah, I could, if this was one of these laptops with a screen in the front, I could close the lid and yet still get access to my information. If it was a media player, I could then plug my headphones in and have, admittedly, it would be the biggest MP3 player in the world.
Yeah.
But you'd still be able to access your information without having Vista switched on, and that's the key point. Using the calendar as an example, and the email and the media, it's accessing information without the need to be at the PC.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I want to go back to the Elmo. What is it, number 3?
Yeah.
All right. And we have some other prototype devices to kind of show off some of the different form factors. Where'd that go? So here we have 2 fridge magnets.
Literally, they are fridge
magnets. They are fridge magnets.
Stick them on your fridge.
And unfortunately, the displays don't work, but basically you would get the same experience that you would on that simulator that you saw.
They are prototype
This
devices.
one exactly is a touch screen, so I would be able to, let's see if it actually turns on. No, it doesn't turn on. This has been used for so many years that the battery's kind of dead.
Not years.
Or whatever. Oh, developed for
It's a new technology.
And the great thing about this is, from a home perspective, now I could see little Timmy's calendar. Say, what is he doing today? Does he have a soccer match? It could be mom trying to manage her calendar.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to share information with just putting that.
It could be an RSS feed of recipes. You're in the kitchen, you've got it stuck to your fridge, things like that. It's opening up the mind, it's opening up the art of the possible, consuming information in different ways.
And once again, I'll make one plug because this is a business audience. With Sideshow, imagine if this was sitting on your executive's desk and it was pulling, the network health information, your Active Directory health information, what's the quality of the service that's going on in your department. That's the capabilities that the Sideshow APIs and the SDK allows you to build on and create. As more and more devices come out on the market, you'll be able to see more business use cases for it as well, not just in the home. So with that, I think I'll hand it back to Matt to show off some of the things, because now we're all pretty convinced, right? We've seen Media Center. It's going to transform your tower PC into the best living room compliance in the world, right? I mean, now you can just say, hey, honey, I'm going to take this box and move it to the living room. I think she'll be fantastic.
Yeah, would that go down well? No, it wouldn't.
I don't think it'll go.
No? No. So for those of you who haven't got the luxury of having a really sleek Media Center PC, the ones that you can buy on the market now, what are the options? How can you somehow get this rich experience? Where are you going?
Sure.
How can you get this rich experience over to the TV? The Xbox is the key. So the Xbox isn't just a games console. Yeah, it's got some great games, Halo and so on. If you want to take down my gamer tag, feel free, bring it on. It's not just the games console, okay? It's another part of the connected world. It brings together Media Center, Vista, and Home Server and presents it in your living room. It's a lot more of a sleek device that can sit under the TV. Even your girlfriend, your wife will be happy with it, no problems. So what kind of content can I pull from the Xbox or pull to the Xbox? First up, music, pictures, video. Where can I get them from? I've got the Xbox 360 Elite on here. It's got a 120 gigabyte hard drive. So when the services come to Europe and the UK, I can download movies and music and so on. I can store content on there from a USB device or whatever, straight onto my hard drive. However, what if I want to consume it from somewhere else? If I choose music, I've got the option of the hard drive. What's on there? Nothing at the moment. But I've also got the option of a computer. Notice the name on the top right, Windows Home Server. By choosing that, I've got the albums that are sat on my home server coming across to my Xbox 360. Admittedly, it's not as nice an interface as the Media Center, but in terms of pure functionality and getting access to my information, it's rich. If I go out of music and go to something like video, see what videos are on my home server. I've got a couple. Who's seen Surface? Microsoft Surface. I'll see a couple of people.
Oh, wow.
Worth showing the video?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, which one? We'll show the power. This one's a cool video. This is some of the even cooler technology coming from Microsoft.
Microsoft Surface represents a new bridge into the digital world. One that lets you shuffle the day's photos like an editor. And then send them through the mail. Surface is a new concierge in the lobby. One who knows all about planning day trips. One who knows every street in town. During the social hour, drinks will arrive at the table and put on a little show.
The business value.
Setting the stage for another order of chocolate pie or the decadent cheesecake. Thinking of buying a phone over your lunch hour? It's a whole new ballgame. Now new phones practically introduce themselves, virtually bragging about their unique abilities. When it comes to music, moving through countless playlists and discovering new bands is a hands-on experience. Now everyone is a DJ, and entertainment is king.
Now that is cool technology, yeah? So you've got the media center in the living room, you've now got a coffee table that's electronic, you know, you've got everything. Your electricity bill is going obviously not the home server because that's only consuming 24 watts. So I stream that content straight from my home server to my Xbox. Did it impact the user in a negative way? No. It was very easy and very straightforward.
I couldn't tell, it seemed native.
No, it was seamless, okay? But pulling content from home server is one thing. But I talked about this media center experience before. I want that rich experience that Viral's shown, but I don't want the tower PC making lots of noise in my living room. So the Xbox is one example of a media center extender. There are other examples on the market, but with this you obviously get the great games console as well. So the media center extender extends the functionality from the media center to the Xbox. Okay, there's no media center sat on here. If I'm not connected to a network, clicking the media center button will not do anything. But now I'm connected to my network and there's a Vista media center PC that's configured to work with my Xbox. It will just work. And that could be for XP as well. You can have an XP media center in your bedroom or in the study and have the Xbox 360 sat in the front room, in the living room. So let's connect. He says, fingers crossed. So this is the Xbox just finding the PC. Takes a few seconds, hopefully. There we go. So I've now got exactly the same content that Viral showed, but this is using my Xbox 360 pad. Okay, let's go to my music library. You'll instantly recognize it because it's so bad. What's the option there? Do you want to choose other folders? No. So there you go. There's my music that Viral showed, and there's the Beatles. I can do exactly the same as Viral did on the PC using the remote control as I can on the Xbox now, using that extension technology.
Can you get a remote control for the Xbox
Yes,
extender?
you can. Yeah.
There you go.
If you don't want to use the controller, you can just use an Xbox remote. You can buy those, no problem. So you can just have a more natural experience. So I've got everything that Viral had, and yet I've got it in a form factor that's suitable for the living room. Okay. Does that look cool? Does that look useful? Yeah? Excellent. Okay. Final area is music before we wrap up for some questions. So I'm going to come out of there and go back to my dashboard. Now, who's heard of the Zune? Okay, excellent. So the Zune launched a little while ago, and the original version of the Zune launched a little while ago, version 1, and this is a version 1 product that I've got here. But just recently, in fact, earlier this week, we launched the new Zune in the States, in the US, sorry, and with the new devices, which give bigger capacity, new functionality, came new firmware. But the great thing is you can now install the new firmware on your old device, should you have one. And let's take a look at what that gives you and what are the advantages of this firmware over the old one. Do we need the light or not?
If you want to show off the device, then put the light on, and then you can turn it off.
Okay. Here we go. So this is my device. Bear in mind this is a version 1 device. Let me get it in. There you go. You can't see that too well. As long as you can see the screen, that's the main the importance. That's one of the key features of the Zune, is the screen. It's big, it's bright, but it's also very rich. So if I go into videos, this is the new interface, by the way, and I choose the Digital Life. Obviously, you can't hear any sound. Let me just move that across.
Look at the quality on that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, very strong video quality. But some of the other things that the new firmware brings is wireless sync with Media Center, recorded TV. If I don't get time to watch it at home, I can sync it with my Zune and take it with me. Useful technology. I can just watch TV on the move, recorded TV, not live, obviously. If I go back to my music, I'll let it focus. You can do your magic. That's not what the interface looks like, obviously. It's not that blurred.
Okay, clear.
I thought you were an expert on this.
Let's see. Oh, let's turn on the light.
There we go. Excellent. So if I go into my music, it's the similar kind of experience that you get with Media Center. So you get in a rich album art-based interaction. You're not just looking for names, you're looking for colors, art, and so on. So I can see what's on there, make my choice. So I'm quite a Bryan Adams fan, I'll admit it. I'll play, and then get some cool album art as well. Yeah, great technology. You know, the best thing for me with Zune isn't the fact that it's great screen, portable, and so on. It's the connectivity. It's the ability to plug and play. So if I flick back to my Xbox, and I go to my media, and I go to my music, before I just had hard drive computer. Now I'm just going to plug in my Zune. There it is. And there's my Zune. Quick as a flash.
Actually, can I tell you a story on this? It's 2 minutes.
Okay.
I really have to share with this audience. When I showed, most of my friends have Xboxes. I would imagine many of you have kids that are like, high school, college age group. A lot of them don't know how interconnected some of this technology is. But when I showed my friends that all have iPods, that they could take their iPod and connect it to the the Xbox 360 and access all their music directly from that, they were ecstatic. They literally, to use a US term, they flipped out. Because now they can go to any party, you could go to any function or gathering, it could be a housewarming party or anything like that. You could take your music and just, if the person's music's not good, you can say, hey, can I load up my iPod or load up my Zune or Sansa or
your music's rubbish, let me plug mine in. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Just plug it in. And the thing is, it's a really useful functionality because you expose it through the rich UI.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share that with you because
it's a personal story.
It's so open. It's an open platform that we let anyone interact with the technology.
Yeah. And that's the power of the Zoom. It just works. It just connects. Great stuff. So we've covered Zoom. We've covered a lot of technology. So we'll just wrap up with a few of the slides, and then we'll be done. So let me flick on. There we go. So have we opened your eyes to this connected world? Can you say you now understand where Microsoft is as a platform for a consumer? We've put the cool back in technology. Media Center, cool UI. Zoom, very cool now. Home Server, very functional. We've shown you how Vista can form a platform for things like Windows Live. We've also shown how you can extend the experience through things like Sideshow, through Media Center, through the Xbox, and so on. And hopefully, securing the experience with Home Server, with your backups, and most of all, enjoying the experience. So please fill out your feedback. This is the first kind of session like this at IT Forum, and we're keen to do it again. If anyone will listen, we love telling this story. So please fill out your feedback. It's really important for both of us. Some resources. Most of you said you read blogs. My blog's up there. Viral's blog's up there. You've got access to Vista, the Tech Center. I'll draw out two key ones. The green button, one-stop shop for Media Center. Anything on Media Center, if it's not on there, it doesn't exist. Okay? Xbox 360, great. Windows Home Server, stop digital amnesia. Stop worrying about where all your files are. Just put them on the Home Server.
Is that a Microsoft site?
Yep.
Our marketing's improving.
And there's all the usual TechNet stuff and virtual labs and so on. Okay, so it's been an absolute pleasure to talk about this with you and show you some of the concepts and the technologies. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Any questions?
So please direct your question. You could yell it out or go to the Q&A and we'll repeat the questions. So any questions, Hans?
There's a chap down there.
All right, so you, sir. So the question is, how much is a home server going to retail at? Matt, you want
that will depend on the model. So you can buy a HP model called I think it's the Media Smart, and that's on Amazon. So it depends on the model. If you want to buy it, you can pick up a copy OEM. I'm not sure of the price exactly, but if you want to pick up a copy and build your own, you can do that as well. But it's very, very cost effective, shall we say.
How much is the Tranquil?
The Tranquil PC is probably about, the base model is probably about £400, something like that. But again, you can buy that online.
Other question. Yes, sir.
The new version 2 of the Media Center extender. So the question was, what kind of functionality does version 2 of the Media Center extenders bring? Good question. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I would have to check.
I've heard that they've added more codec support. So
that's a good thing.
I think, so you could, I'm not sure on stuff like DivX and XVID. I think that was a big ask, but actually, the best place to find those information, I know some of our other media extender partners
or the green button.
The green button's a great resource. I know D-Link and Linksys, they're creating extenders, so great websites.
Yeah, sorry if that's not an answer directly.
If you send us an email or go to our blogs, we'll definitely get that information out for you.
Yep, the chap stood there. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Flick back the Xbox. Flick back to the Xbox.
No. Yeah. So the question was, can you watch recorded television live television on the Xbox? You could do both.
Yeah, you can do both. So the Xbox is just extending. Although you've not got a TV tuner in here, it doesn't matter because it's in the PC. So I can watch the same recorded footage that Viral has got on this Media Center.
And the quality is the same.
Sorry? Yep. I'll show you. So this is extending the experience. This is the Xbox. Where's recorded TV? Same 3 shows.
Put on the National Geographic one. That's
okay, National Geographic.
Yeah.
And that's coming through the Xbox to your TV, even though it's streaming across your network from your media center.
And around quality, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it'll do widescreen.
It'll do it. Right now, because it's a 4.3 form factor, the Xbox gives you the ability to modify. Are you a 16.9?
Make a long burn.
Are you 4.3?
Yeah, so when you
have full control.
When you configure your Xbox to meet the specification of your screen,
we can't make any guarantees.
You can choose widescreen. It's just
we
in 4:3.
to land on the moon. Not fire the engine out there for course correction.
Well,
this is Ethernet.
Unfortunately, we're not landing on the moon.
So let me just stop the video.
I don't care what anything was designed to do.
Stop?
Care about what it can do. Let's get to work. Let's get it out. Okay?
So yeah, this.
Okay, let's stop.
Thank you. my glamorous assistant. So yeah, I've forgotten the question now. Oh yeah, sorry, Ethernet or gigabit? Oh yeah, you could use that. Yeah, you could use that.
I could answer that.
Okay, so just to repeat the question, we're talking about network speeds in the house. What kind of level of network speed do you need to effectively stream content between devices?
Yeah, so if you're doing a lot of HD content, which it does support, they recommend a high signal strength in 802.11g.
Or through the power?
Through the power, yeah. So I mean, you're looking. I mean, G is the baseline for a solid extended experience. So G is about 54 Mbps. In real world, you get around 20, 25. So, but 25 is going to be pushing it for high-level HD content. So it's literally just streaming the data. So I highly recommend that you get, if G reception in your household is not good, you either get an extender or go through the power line. If your power line supports 100 Mbps, you should be fine.
I think most power adapters are 85 meg per second.
Yeah, so it should have no problem with the power line adapter.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be fine. Yeah.
So I think we have time for about 3-4 more questions, right? Yeah.
Yep. So there's 2 here.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. 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 So the question was, is home server available now? Absolutely. You can buy it OEM. So if you just want to build your own, fair enough. Alternatively, you can buy it in a form factor already. The other part of the question was, can I put it on an old PC? Yes, you can. So you buy the OEM copy and put it on an old PC. In euros, I'm not sure. In pounds, it's around about £100, so maybe 150 euros. I think you'd have to check. It's it's 2003 technology. It's quite well priced.
So you, sir, and then you, sir.
Can I choose what TV shows to follow as well?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things we couldn't show you today in the demo because we don't have television reception here is moment you plug in a TV tuner and go to setup, it'll actually pull all the channels you receive. It'll pull down the schedules associated with those channels from the internet.
So it'll give you a very rich guide. So you can then look in the guide and say if you watch 24, and you go, okay, I want to record 24. 24 is a series, so you think, well, I want it to record all the episodes of 24. So I'll do that, and it's intelligent enough to not record repeated shows as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to think about the Xbox as purely taking your media center, whatever's on there, TV tuners, everything, and displaying it on your TV. It's not doing anything else to it. So anything you've got on your computer will come through your Xbox.
Think of the Xbox extender experience like a thin client experience.
Yeah.
All the heavy lifting is done by Media Center, but you're simply exposing the presentation layer through an extender.
So obviously you need the PC that's got the media center switched on in the background. You need to have that. It needs to be able to stream from somewhere. But there you go. That's the extender part.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it does use. So the question was, for the backup, do you use ImageX? So ImageX is a technology in Vista that enables you to capture a machine and convert it to a WIN file. I don't think it uses ImageX because it doesn't produce the WIN file. I think it produces a VHD, I believe. But I'm not sure if it uses ImageX technology or not. I have to check.
Keep in mind that it is Server 2003 technology.
Yeah.
So there's probably not Vista bits in it.
Yeah. So the chap in the blue shirt. Yeah, okay, so the question was, what about localization of home server? And at the moment, it's just available in English, French, and Spanish, I believe. I'm not sure when the additional languages are going to ship. The best place to go to find that out would be the home server stand in the ATE. So they've got a dedicated stand, a similar kind of setup to this with a different media center, and they'll be able to advise you on that one. But at the moment, it's just the three languages, I'm afraid.
Any other questions?
Sorry? Oh, the number is 50 in the main Microsoft area. Over by near the system center area.
So we got 7 minutes. If there's nothing else, we'll let you guys out early. Yes,
Yeah.
One more question, sir.
Sorry? A good question. We had an internal email about the launch of the new Zune, and on the bottom the note was clear, no plans as of yet, or no firm dates for Europe, unfortunately. I'm as frustrated as everyone else in Europe is, because it's a fantastic product, but I think they just need to ensure that they get the marketing exactly right for Europe, because as we all know, Apple's got such a strong product in the field already, and we couldn't go in with just a half-hearted attempt. So I think that's the delay.
Although I did see a advertise in the UK on television on IT4. It's a pretty cool advertise.
Okay.
So who knows?
Who knows?
Christmas
Not-
shopping
yeah.
season, but there's no firm dates.
I don't think we'll see the Zune version 1. I think we'll just see Zune version 2, but that may change. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You wanna tell the
it's a
story?
funny story, actually. So the question was around a piece of software called WebGuide, which effectively allows you to reach your media center content from wherever you are on another PC or on a mobile device or whatever. So the guy who wrote WebGuide was an independent developer. He's now been hired by Microsoft. And he's also produced the WebGuide for Home Server. So you can do the same kind of content. So WebGuide, I'd advise you to go and just do a search on WebGuide. It's a fantastic web-based user interface to access content on your media center and now content on your home server. Okay, and just like it's an add-in. So I touched on the add-ins for home server before. WebGuide is an add-in for home server.
The fantastic thing about
And it's
WebGuide
free.
is that it'll format according to your bandwidth that you have. So if you want to format like your HD video and you want to watch it on your Windows mobile device, then you just log in to your WebGuide part, go through the browser, and it'll actually stream it to your phone in optimized format. Same thing, like if you want to stream it to another computer anywhere in the world, it'll know what your bandwidth limitations are, and it'll recompress on the fly and transcode it. And so it's a great thing. So I could even record, let's say I was like, oh man, I forgot to record Top Gear, which is a show in UK, car show, it's a great show.
We'll use something more generic, like The Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah. I forgot to record this month's episode of Simpsons because they changed the time, and I'm going to be traveling all week. I could go into WebGuide through their web console and say, hey, record this show, and my media center will pick up the changes and automatically record that show. I don't have to be at home. I don't have to be connected to my network. I can just go through the web.
Yeah,
Great.
same kind of thing.
And it's free. It's always going to be
Yeah,
free.
very, very clever software, hence why he's hired by Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's funny. So the question was, will mobile devices link in with Sideshow? And we were looking at this last night and scouring the web, trying to find, because we're sure that Windows mobile devices work with Sideshow, but it's just not available just yet.
There are no applications as of yet, but there are mobile SDKs. So
Yeah.
if you're a developer or you know someone who is a developer and say, ask them to do you a favor or something, you could develop on top of it. It uses
That's a big favor.
Yeah, it's a .NET. It uses the .NET Micro framework, so it's designed. That's what it uses.
So just to elaborate on that and explain the kind of scenario that would allow, I could use my mobile device to be delivering a PowerPoint presentation that I can use to change slides, but I can also see the next slide, any notes. So this is effectively my presenter tool. So I'll change slide, but I'll also see any notes. And although it will look like I'm reading my phone and making a text message, or I'm actually just using it for the presentation. But that's how Sideshow, one example of how Sideshow will link in with mobile phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah, WebGuide 4.
Cool. Oh, excellent. So the question was, how does WebGuide integrate with Slingbox? And the answer was, it does. So there you go. Already, which is great. It's a joint learning experience.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great question. So the question was multiple TV tuners. Can you combine TV tuners from cable, satellite, and so on? I'd have to check on the detail of whether you can combine cable and satellite, but you can definitely have multiple TV tuners. There's nothing stopping you having 4 TV tuners in your media center.
So on my media center at home, I bought what's called a dual tuner, and I could actually buy 2 dual tuners and have 4 tuners.
Yeah.
And that way, what that allows me to do is I could watch one thing and record 1, 2, or 3 other programmings at the same timing block.
Yeah.
And that
And the
allows
media
you-
center goes with content,
Yeah.
and then you move it to the home center.
Yeah, exactly. The picture-in-picture.
Picture-in-picture, I'm not sure.
I personally
Potentially, I've
haven't
not
used
tried it with a dual tuner, so potentially, but you will get the ability to.
I'm sure there's a plugin for that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm not sure out of the box.
Yes, sir.
Can you have? Was that the question? Can you? So the answer was the answer. The question was, can you have a DVB-T tuner and a DVB-C tuner in parallel? Again, similar to the gentleman's question over there. I'm not quite sure whether you can.
Are they
have both
USB tuners? Or?
at the same time?
Yeah, I would
Oh,
guess.
there's a
that
chat.
if
Yeah,
it
Torben's over there.
was USB, you'd be okay.
Okay, so you can't mix types of tuners, but you can have multiple tuners. Yeah. Cheers. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Access both content from the regular, from the media center recorded and recorded by Dreambox.
Right.
So it's internal storage or external storage.
Right. That's a good question. Yeah, go.
Yeah. So, the question was, if I already have a satellite or cable box that's doing the recording or tuning my programming, what do I do with the media center? Because there's another box I have to add. The best way to do that is to use what's called an IR blaster and to buy a capture card that you put into your media center. So what I mean by that, on the box that your cable or satellite provider gives, it has TV outputs, a digital or SCART or something, some type of output, component output. You take the component output from your satellite or cable box, it feeds into your media center computer using a capture card of some type, an HD capture card, and then you use what's called an IR blaster. It connects to your media center using USB, and it actually works as, it emulates a remote signal. So you have to kind of program this IR blaster, and that box points to your satellite or cable box all the time. So that way you don't have to worry about ever using your satellite or cable box. You always use media center to do everything, guide, functionality, everything. And you could actually interface it with that way.
So it's not the easiest.
It's not the
solution,
easiest
but
solution,
but it's possible.
It's possible. And as solutions come out, they will be coming to the market. You know, in the next few, I would say, a year or two, there will be some new solutions out. So.
Okay, so I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the questions. They're great. Thanks for staying as well.
You've been a great
Really appreciate
audience.
it. Thank you.